Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Proverbs 31 Woman. Today, we're going to talk about the currency of her character. And I don't know about you, but I have really been enjoying each and every day that we've taken the time to describe or go through a scripture of the chapter of Proverbs 31. It has been very enlightening. And of course, for me, because I do this regularly every year, I like to make sure, though, that I'm bringing a fresh perspective to different parts of the chapter, as well as it has been really good to hear all of your feedback and how you're enjoying the different messages as well. So, thank you so much for joining in. And we're going to start with Proverbs chapter 31, verse 11 on today. It says, "The heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil." The difference between being liked and being trusted, there's a huge gap there. And there is a real difference. Now, this verse is a revelation about one of the highest forms of honor, being a woman who can be trusted with someone else's heart, their future, as well as their legacy. We see here that the Proverbs 31 woman, she was being a woman who can be trusted, as well as she is not just a helpmeet, she's a safe place. And for many of you, I know that you stand in that very same place. It says that she's a steward of stability and she holds space for vision, vulnerability, and value without compromising her trust. So let's break this down. In the first part of the scripture, it says that the heart of her husband does safely trust in her. This verse speaks of emotional security, not control, not manipulation, not performance, but trust. She's not reckless with her words. She's not careless with commitments or impulsive with her emotions as well as the emotions of others, right? Like she ain't trying to play with people. So she doesn't weaponize her silence either. She doesn't assassinate character behind closed doors, and she guards confidentiality and carries weighty matters with dignity. So whether you're married, single, or widowed, or in waiting, this isn't just a romantic relationship. This is about how you show up in every relationship. Do people feel safe around you? Do they feel confident around you being able to hold their most vulnerable information? Do your friends, your business partners, your family members, your team members feel like they can trust your word, your motives, or your consistency? Those are real questions because all of us have a level of relationship with those around us, whether it's in your home, your community, your churches, as well as on the job. And that can make or break the situation based upon your interactions with others, especially because the Proverbs 31 women, they are in places of leadership. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're just a leader in the workplace. No, you're leading at home as well as in your church and in your community. And in these various places, you interact with people. So you need to guard how it is that you steward those relationships as well as your word. So the second part of the scripture says, "So that he shall have no need of spoil." This means he lacks nothing of value, not because she's doing everything, but because she is faithful in what she does. The Proverbs 31 woman character is so intact that it multiplies his peace. It multiplies his decisions as well as his legacy. Can I just say, ladies, that you bring the sauce to the party, right? You're in positioning to be able to help foster the vision. And not only that, you are the driver behind the engine. If your leader, your husband is the driving force and you're the driving we'll just say the transmission, right? The engine is here. That's your husband, that's your leader, and you're the transmission behind it. You bring the force behind that engine going. And so don't take your positioning lightly. And I know that we're making a reference to a husband and wife relationship, but what about on that job? Are you securely backing your leader? Are you helping to carry the vision of the company? What are you doing to position yourself to make sure that things are going smoothly? And let's just say, even if you're not in leadership currently today, you do hold a current position on your job. Whatever that position is, make sure that you are taking that seriously and you're showing up and you're doing the work. That's what we're getting paid for, right? When we show up on those jobs and you clock in, whether you're an hourly employee or you're a salary employee, either way, take the responsibility that they have entrusted you with to heart and make sure that you're doing the what it is that they're asking you to do. And in this season, go above and beyond. Don't just do the bare minimum. Like a lot of times we show up on the job and we're just going to do enough to know that they know that we were there, we did what it is that they asked us to do, and then all of a sudden you're running off, going on to do something else. No, can I just say, go above and beyond. Make sure that you put your stamp on there so they know not only were you there, but you mastered and you did some things, you went above and beyond. But let's take this a step further. The Proverbs 31 woman presence is in his life, but it also closes the gaps, right? Not just in tasks, but in trust as well. So spoil represents the extra, the plunder, and the temporary win. But with her, meaning you being by his side, he doesn't have to chase scraps. He has sustainability. And that's the impact of a virtuous woman. You've got to know that what you hold, what you bring to the relationship is of value. So in today's culture, trust has become transactional, and people are quick to say, I don't owe you anything. I don't owe anyone anything. But legacy doesn't grow in shallow soil. Legacy is built in deep trust, and you can't fake that. You can't say, oh, you have no responsibility in that. You have a responsibility the moment you says, yes, I'm your friend, I'm your employee, I'm your wife, I'm showing up in the relationship, right? You're an acquaintance. You have a responsibility to show up in your true and most authentic self, as well as don't just show up to the relationship, whatever manner you may hold at that particular juncture. But don't just show up and be a taker, right? Be a giver, meaning show up and add something to the situation. So let's be clear here now, right? Beauty fades, but character compounds. Charm may open the doors, but trust keep you in the rooms. And skill may get you hired, but trust makes you a partner, right? It makes you more valued in the work relationship. And I always like to give you a real life illustration. So today we're going to talk about Latoya. She's a branding strategist known for helping high profile entrepreneurs stay relevant. What makes her different wasn't that it's just her talent, it was her trust. She was known for honoring NDAs before they were signed. She never bragged about who she worked with, even when it could have made her famous. Her clients trusted her with their unpolished truths. She became the vault. And her reward was she was referred from boardrooms to billionaires without a single ad. Like she didn't have to go out and self promote. Others promoted her based upon their testimonials. And I can only imagine that their referrals as well. Can I just say that's the same ability that you have when you show up? People should know that there's a difference in working with you versus working with some others in whatever capacity that may hold for you. Like I said, whether it's in your home, whether it is on the job, in the community, in churches, in a friendship. Either way, people should know that you carry the weight of value and trust when they come in contact with you. So that's the Proverbs 31 verse 11 in motion, right? Her trust equity became her wealth equity. Why? Because people valued what she brought to the table. And can I just say, watch out as well? Betrayal doesn't start loud. Sometimes the erosion of trust isn't obvious. It begins in small exaggerations, gossip dressed as prayer requests, oversharing for attention, unspoken bitterness turned into sarcasm. If you want to be a legacy builder, you must be a vault and not a vent. Why am I going this hard on today? Because look, we're at a place now where we get the opportunity to do some self evaluation, right? Some self reflection. And I will say, look at the various relationships that you're in. And if necessary, get your sheet of paper out, right? Write down all the names of people that you're in relationships with. And on the other side, you can very easily jot down the level of those relationships and you can clearly spot the ones that need some work, right? Your activation for today is this. Do you honestly audit or do an honesty audit rather? And are you the same in private as you are in public? Ask a trusted friend or a colleague, do you feel safe with me? Why or why not? And then number three is commit to going a full day without speaking negatively about anyone not present. And reflect on how that impacts your mindset and your influence. Can I just say that we spend a lot of times in our mindset of thinking about all the ways how things are not working and all of the negativity. Can I just say that all the things that you hide in your heart, do you know that that comes up? So if you're putting good in, good is going to come out. But if you're compounding negativity, right, and you're talking about others, don't you know that that just spews out when people have a conversation with you? There's nothing positive that's being said. It's always going wayward. First, before you bring it back, you try to correct it. Oh, I didn't mean that. Oh, I could have said that a different way. Can I just say time out for that? Right? We get the opportunity to work on that right now. Right? So today, draw a line in it and challenge yourself to go a full day without speaking negatively about anyone at all. I'm not going to say not present, okay, because that's easy, but let's just say at all, right? And reflect on how that impacts your mindset and your influence. Can I just say, when you're having a good day, all is right with the world, but you have a bad day, now everything is going downhill real fast, right? So you get to set the tone of this. And your journal prompts for today is number one, who do I trust deeply and why? Right? Remember, get that paper out, write down those names. You can check off who you trust deeply and write out why. Number two is, what are three ways I can become a more trustworthy woman this week? Can I just say, evaluate all the areas, whether that is in your home, whether it's at work, in the community, as well as in your relationship. What are three ways that you could become more trustworthy? And then number three is, have I ever compromised someone else's trust for validation? And how can I make it right? Can I just say that we don't always get it right, but be the person that is okay with going back and rewriting the wrong, right? Saying I apologize goes a long way. But you got to be mature enough to be able to handle the conversation, right? To be able to speak up and speak out and let people be able to see that side of you. Because a lot of us have up so many walls to where we don't want people to be able to see on the other side of that. And of course, we have an affirmation of the day. And our affirmation is this: my character, meaning me, is my currency. I am a trustworthy woman sound in integrity, gentle with power, and faithful in every assignment. I carry legacy and I protect it with honor. And of course, that sounds real good. So I want to say it again. It is my character is my currency. I am a trustworthy woman, sound in integrity, gentle with power, and faithful in every assignment. I carry legacy and I protect it with honor. And I will say, if that felt real good to you, go ahead and write it down. Matter of fact, share it with somebody on today and just talk about how it is that you are working on your character, how you're working on becoming a more trustworthy and valued friend, and how it is that you are working on those places where you feel like that you have not given 100% of value. And it's okay. I'm sure that because of out of relationship, the way that you've built that with people, that they'll receive you really well. And thank you so much for joining again. You can follow me on all social media at I am Dr. Tabitha, as well as you can go to my website at drtabitharussell.com, where there's some free resources, as well as we'll be back here again on tomorrow with some more good stuff. We're going to continue to keep this going as the Lord sees fit for us to be able to realign some things so that we are going to have the most amazing 2026 without excuses, right? We get the opportunity to work on us so that our relationships and in the different environments that we have levels of influence and impact is going to look amazing because we're going to show up like never before. So I thank you so much for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again on tomorrow. Take care.